Okay, let's be real. Everyone doesn't have an even playing field. Some of us lack confidence, some of us are socially shy, some of us are insecure, some of us are afraid of embarrassing ourselves, and some of us do not grow up in the country we currently live and work in. If everything I've just said applies to you and you think you're the only one, let me tell you that everything I've just said applies to me as well. And you might be like, what the hell are you saying? You literally make videos and put yourself out there on the internet. Yes, you're quite right. But it wasn't long ago I found myself struggling once again, which was literally a couple of months back. And whilst I was journaling, I thought to myself, hey, hold on, I have been through this vicious cycle so many times. I wonder if others feel the same way. To give you context, I moved countries and came to the UK in 2018, so I had no family, no friends here. The initial few months were really lonely as I did not have any friends or support system here whatsoever, which meant I wouldn't get invited to any of the outings as I did not go to uni with these people, or I wasn't their friend growing up. And mind you, I was also in a bit of a culture shock, still getting used to a new system, my first job in a new country, figuring out what working here looked like, my expectations alongside my career goals, and everything else that comes with life. I actually think that adult friendships once out of uni are so much harder than I realized. But today is not the day for self-pity. Today we are going to find ways to make friends. Your big sister here on the internet is going to give you some practical, science-backed advice on how to make friends. First up, use people's names when talking to them. This is honestly the most basic first step to engage with a stranger. Dale Carnegie, in his book How to Win Friends and Influence People, talks about using someone's first name in a conversation. Firstly, use their name a few times in the initial few minutes of the conversation so that you remember it. You see, using someone's name is a meaningful gesture and recognizes their identity and makes them feel valued. When we remember and use person's name, it shows that we care about them as an individual. It's like giving a subtle compliment because it demonstrates attention and respect. On the other hand, forgetting or getting someone's name wrong can give the impression of disinterest or distance. It's important to make an effort to use names correctly to strengthen connection. So make sure you're pronouncing or writing it correctly. I always ask when I first meet someone with a name I haven't heard of before, saying, hey, please correct me if I'm saying your name incorrectly. By using people's names consistently and correctly, you convey warmth and acknowledge their significance in your interactions. Guys, this is such a simple act that can actually have such a positive impact on how others perceive you and quality of your relationships. Number 2, ask them to do you a small favor. Okay, this might sound odd, but hear me out. Asking someone to do you a simple favor, for example, something like, hey, can you pass me the spoon please, will actually help build a rapport. It's because their subconscious mind will think that they like you because they are doing a favor for you. This is called Benjamin Franklin effect. A modern example of Ben Franklin effect appears in a study where participants were asked to solve some puzzles in pairs. What the participants did not know was that their partners in the study were actually the ones working on the experiment. So some of the partners were instructed to ask the participants for helping in solving the puzzle and some weren't. So the ones that asked for help displayed the Ben Franklin effect by expressing more positive feelings towards their partner compared to others who weren't asked for help. This is how lending a hand to someone can actually make you like them over time. Tip number 3 is about being a good listener. I used to constantly worry about sounding the most interesting one in a conversation, but with time I have realized that being interested in a conversation helps form stronger and deeper and more meaningful connections. If you're anything like me, then you are so concerned with what you're going to say next, what punchline to use next, that you don't truly listen when someone is speaking. Did you know that most people would actually prefer a good listener versus a good talker? So ask people about what makes them happy, what their passions are, what their hobbies are, what do they enjoy. These are simple yet really important questions. There is always one topic that every individual is passionate about. It could be sports, music, movies, their bucket list country. It could literally be anything. Find the topic and be curious about it. Ask questions. Maybe it'll help you learn a thing or two from each other. Tip number 4 is about empathy. See, it took a good chunk of my 20s to understand the difference between empathy and sympathy. Empathy is understanding and sharing someone's feelings by imagining yourself in the situation. It's about truly connecting with their emotions. Sympathy, on the other hand, is feeling pity for someone's hardships without necessarily understanding their emotions deeply. It's more about feeling sorry for them and wanting to offer comfort and support. Dr. Brené Brown, in her book Daring Greatly, highlights the significance of empathy in building meaningful connections with others. Let's break down why empathy matters in our our everyday lives. Imagine a friend comes to you feeling upset about a difficult day at work. Instead of brushing off the emotions or offering quick solutions, you take a moment to really listen and acknowledge how they are feeling. You say something like, "It sounds like you've had a really tough day, and I cannot even begin to imagine how frustrating that must have been." By showing this kind of understanding, you are practicing empathy. You are showing that you care about their feelings and you are here to support them. In friendships, empathy helps deepen bonds and foster trust. Suppose a friend shares a personal struggle or challenging experience. Responding with empathy means offering a listening ear without judgment and acknowledging the emotions they are experiencing. Tip number 5 is about not judging. I'm not any saint and I'm still working on not being quick to judge. You see, being South Asian, passing judgments is majority of us is in our second nature. We are so quick to judge people's values, cultures, clothes, gender, choices, experiences in life. For example, the amount of judgment that I get on my social media channels in the comment section is majorly from my Indian viewers, and come on guys, we can be better than this. Anyway, understanding why people behave the way they do without rushing to judge them is crucial for building meaningful connections. Okay, you have heard of 𝗦𝗰𝗶𝗹 𝗟𝗶, yeah, the big name in finance. He had famously pointed out that people often have dual motivations for their actions. One that sounds acceptable, another that's the true driving force. So when interacting with others, approach them with the assumption that they have good intentions even if their actions seem puzzling at first. So by embracing this approach, you will unlock the potential of deeper human connections and mutual understanding. So the next time someone's behavior baffles you, pause and consider underlying reasons. By taking a moment to understand rather than rushing to judge will help you gain insight to not only their actions but also their character. Next up, take the initiative. You won't know what's out there for you unless you put yourself out there. This is something I practice literally in every sphere of life, whether it's to do at work, in social circumstances, or just with regards to opportunities in life. You need to take that initiative or else you will never know. For example, last year I was at this Health Summit conference in London. There were lots of brand stalls over there outside the conference area. So I bought a few products from this brand called 𝗦𝗏 deodorant, which I have personally been purchasing for many years since I've been living here in the UK, at least 4 years that I can think of. My husband and I, we both love this brand and I've been purchasing deodorants left, right and center every time we walk into booths. Long story short, I came home and posted an Instagram story of purchasing from this brand and they reshared it on their story. So then I thought, hang on a second, why don't I reach out to them? So basically I dropped a very simple email saying that, hey, do you want to work together? I love your products. I use them every single day, and it's been 10 months to that first email I sent out, and we continue to work together until this very day. You will never know until you take that initiative, and this can apply to friendships, relationships and opportunities in general. I've had the exact same story with another of my favorite skincare brand called 𝗏𝗏. I mean, you have to put yourself out there, and yes, either you sink or swim, and even if you sink, you learn a really valuable lesson about yourself. I have another example with regards to friendships. I have lived for 5 years in this country, and every time I have moved jobs, yeah, we kind of need to do that as doctors in training, I have come out of most of my jobs with not just friends but really close friends. Like, they are my tribe kind of friends as an adult, and that's because majority of the time I have either said, hey, do you want to go grab a coffee after work, or do you want to meet for lunch this weekend? Just try and say it and see where it goes. Even in the book How to Talk to Anyone discusses the significance of initiating social interactions, and taking that first step in reaching out can lead to meaningful connections and friendships. Next up, first impressions do matter. A smile is such a powerful tool in human interaction. It communicates warmth, friendliness and acceptance. So when you genuinely smile at someone, it sends a clear message that you like them and are happy to see them. That said, an insincere smile won't do you any good. For example, this is me without a smile in a conversation, and this is me with a smile. If it were you, which of the two would you want to be friends with? By the way, research in psychology supports this idea as well. Studies have shown that sincere smiles, known as 𝗬𝗓 smile, involves the contraction of both your mouth muscles and the muscles around your eyes. These smiles are perceived as more genuine and are more likely to evoke positive responses from others. On the other hand, fake smiles that only involves a muscle around your mouth can be perceived as less sincere and may not have the same positive impact. Imagine meeting a colleague in the hallway at work. If you greet them with a warm, genuine smile that reaches your eyes, they are more likely to feel valued and appreciated. This simple gesture can set a positive tone for your interaction with them and contribute building a stronger rapport. Remember guys, a smile is a powerful non-verbal cue that conveys acceptance and positivity. However, do remember that impact of smile depends on its authenticity. Next up, talking about authenticity, next thing is about being authentic. Psychologist Dr. 𝗦𝐶𝗰𝗶𝗹 in her book Presence, Bringing Your Boldest Self to Your Biggest Challenges explores how authenticity can positively impact your social interactions and well-being. She talks about when we authentically express ourselves, we exude confidence and sincerity, which can then enhance our relationships. You might ask, what does being authentic really mean? Well, being true to oneself means aligning our actions, beliefs, and values with our true identity and our inner voice. It's about embracing who we really are without any pretense or compromise. In your personal relationships, authenticity plays a crucial role in building trust and connection. Like in a friendship where you always feel comfortable being yourself. This sense of authenticity helps build deeper bonds because you're able to relate to each other genuinely. And finally, patience is key. In the book The Friendship Factor by Dr. Alan Loy McInnes, the author emphasizes the importance of patience in building meaningful friendships. Guys, building strong relationships doesn't happen overnight. It requires time, effort, and understanding. Again, time is relative, so please don't put a deadline on how long it should take for you to build a meaningful friendship. For example, think about a new friendship you're trying to establish. Initially, you might share light conversations and common interests, but true intimacy and trust takes time to blossom. It's important to be patient and allow the friendship to evolve naturally without rushing the process. Studies have also shown that friendships characterized by patience and understanding are more likely to withstand challenges. So yeah, that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. What tips would you have for me or anyone reading your comment on how to build meaningful friendships as an adult? Are there any other topics that you want me to explore or talk about? Do let me know down below in the comment section, and hope you're looking after yourself and your loved ones, and I shall see you next Sunday. Bye.